There he is. Although Anthony Chang already popped in, like he's like not there till 4:30. He's Anthony, you're Cuban, aren't you, bro? You're supposed to be late, not early, bro. What's wrong with you? You're making us Cubans look bad, bro. Trying to show up early. That's not good, bro. It's not good, Anthony. I just want you to know, right, Safid? You can't come early if you're a Cuban. That's wrong.
Yo, Anthony.
We
Anthony, can you make a call? Make a call to Portland for us, real quick, Anthony. Before you come on.
Yeah, Anthony, go do something about that damn Lillard trade. Jesus Christ.
Anthony's one of my really good friends, man. We actually sat next to each other when we graduated from UF.
Okay.
So good guy. Feels like we're sitting together again right now.
Yeah, man. It's a small world, isn't it? That's
very much so.
That's the way it is. So, how do you rate the To a Train dance? Is it a 10 out of 10?
Poor Robbie Chosen didn't get any invite for that dance routine, man. Do you see him just standing there kind of awkwardly looking like, what's going on there, man? 10 out of 10, man. I called it a Super Bowl shuffle, Big O. We got to send the Dolphins.
No, we can't do it. We can't do that. The Bears have the Super Bowl shuffle. We can't
I don't care.
Do
that. It's a new day in age. It's a new day here in Miami. The
Dolphins
are 3-0. I like Train's cool. It looked like a Super Bowl shuffle to me, man. That's how they're going to shuffle.
Oh, no, there's no doubt it was a Super Bowl
all the way to Las Vegas.
No. You're not lying that it was a Super Bowl shuffle. It's just I don't want to steal the Bears line. You know what I mean? So it's
sorry, man. It's the remix. It's the remix.
You know, but To a Train. There's nothing wrong with To a Train.
No, not at all. To a time. To a train. To a clock. You know, we were 2-0 last week. You know, now we're 3-0. I guess I don't know. But look, man.
Yeah. Okay.
3-0. I like it.
Yeah. It was good. It was good. When you look at this team this week going up against the Bills, the challenge of the Bills, some people are worried that the 70 points might be a letdown. I think there is zero letdown for this team after everything they went through last year. And with the Bills specifically, I think this team is going to be as jacked as it could possibly be for the Bills. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they better be. They better be jacked for us.
Well, they better be.
But I think they will. They will.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if it was any other opponent, it'd be a letdown. But this is the opponent. This is the one thorn in their side the last, 3, 4, 5, 6 years? Like
the Josh Allen years.
Seasons. The Josh Allen years. Yeah, since 2018, since he's been here. Look, they got the one last year here in Miami. Yeah, but, was it a good feeling back then? Sure. Doesn't feel good anymore when you go to Buffalo twice in the last year and still lose to them, right? And you just feel like the last couple of times that they played Buffalo, the last 3 specifically, they just feel so much more closer, right? They feel so much more closer. There was that 30-point beatdown in Buffalo to the end of I think Tua's first season, and that one was deep in the chest. If you didn't feel that one, I don't know what you're feeling. But the Dolphins have come really far from that point, and this is the year where they showing the NFL who they are and what they're all about. And this is the week where they're going to go into Buffalo and show the Bills who they are and what they're all about, and try to take back the division from them. Buffalo's been the division champs for the last 3 years, I believe,
yes.
And deservedly so. They've had a great ship running. They have a Super Bowl window that's been open, and I believe the Super Bowl window has been closing. The last 2 years specifically. Brian Daboll left a couple years last year to go to the Giants. Leslie Frazier's not there this year. Their defensive coordinator is taking the year off, I believe. The Bills have looked good the last 2 weeks, put up 38 and 37 points against Vegas and the Commanders. But this Dolphins team ain't those two teams. This Dolphins team is, number 1 in the power rankings. We saw Stephen A today, number 1 in our rankings that we had after the game, Big O. This is a huge, huge test for the Dolphins. This is a match between 2 top 5 teams right here. And this is everything for Miami. I don't know if Buffalo's ready for what's coming in for them, because it's going to be a very, very different team that they're used to seeing.
Were you quoting Stephen A?
No. I was mentioning that he had them number 1 as well.
Oh, well, he doesn't really know anything about football, so I don't know about that one.
Same as us, man.
Yeah, no. Say no. I forgot at 12 years old more about football than he knows right now, currently. Okay. He is as a big a joke as there is. Stay in basketball, stay out of football. He doesn't
Mm,
even know who's playing at times. He doesn't even
yeah,
know who's actually lining up at times. It's amazing. I get it. He's got to make a lot of money, so he's a lightning rod.
yeah.
Got to use him all over in ESPN. God bless
Hmm.
you. Bro. You're making a ton of cash, but man, he says some foolish shit when it comes to football. All right, so the offensive did you see Tehran come out of it good?
Yeah, from what I saw from the replay I just kind of watched, he looked good and he looked like he was moving well. There's some plays specifically where, the Dolphins have somebody in motion, whether it's a tight end or receiver, and they're supposed to block the edge rusher, and the left tackle is supposed to move up into the second level and block somebody else. Toronto was making those blocks in the game, and Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert were scoring touchdowns in the game because of it. So Toronto looked like he came out really well after that. Looks back to normal, close to 100% as possible. You and I were talking about this last week, whether Tehran should play or not. I'm glad they got him in and
Yeah.
and got him some action, because they're going to need him a lot more this week against Buffalo.
Mhm.
So right now you're hoping that Tehran can stay relatively healthy. Relative is the right word. He's going to have some nicks and bruises along the way. They might either limit or keep him out of practice for a day or two, maybe a vet day, and limited him the rest of the practice week going on for the rest of the season. I mean, there was a point last year where he wasn't even practicing at all and just playing. So hopefully he's not at that point. Um, but because he practiced and they went through everything, that's why the Dolphins were like unstoppable last week. And so I really hope Jerron's still practicing in some kind of fashion. But he did look good.
Somebody says that they said to call it the Legion of Room.
The Legion of Room. Yeah, they
I,
are
I
they are
you know
going so fast.
somebody sent me on Twitter because I can't take credit for it, but I don't have a problem with this. The greatest show on surf,
Yeah, I like that a lot. Raheem Mostert surfs every touchdown he scores. It's
and
a
they are
great play on
Dolphins.
words.
They are Dolphins. So the
It's a
greatest show on
yeah.
surf, and we are in South Florida and all that. Although some
Mm-hmm.
guy says he has a property in Tallahassee on the beach for sale. I had no idea that Tallahassee was on the beach. Did
It's
you know
not on
that?
the beach. It's not on the beach.
It's not. So
It's
so
not on the
so
beach. The
so
beach is like an hour away.
so are you saying that he's lying that Tallahassee's not on the water? I
Yes, it's not on the water.
Okay, all right, just checking. What'd
Yes.
you see in Liam Eichenberg? Because Connor Williams obviously got banged up, and I watched it myself a little bit. I was actually he had a couple high snaps, but
Yeah.
they weren't bad snaps. They were just a little high. Although I got to tell you, Tua has become a master of handling the high snaps from Connor and Liam. But I was impressed overall with Liam's responsibilities as a blocker after the snapping. So,
Hmm.
your thoughts on what you saw from Liam Eichenberg because he might be needed?
If you're a player in Liam Eichenberg's position, you would hope that he would perform the way he did, right? Coming off the bench, you were a prominent draft pick. Did it? You lost your starting job that you had a year ago. You have to move positions pretty much. They started moving you at center because you could provide some depth there. And at him, he's like, "This is an opportunity for me. I'm going to try to take advantage of it." He did. There were some high snaps, not too high, nothing that got over
No,
Tua's
no,
head.
not crazy,
It
but
was enough for Tua to put his hands up and catch it, and it didn't disrupt any timing at all.
no.
For one thing, Tua's done a really good job of kind of maybe. Well, it's hard to say, but it feels like Tua is not really losing his poise when the snap is a little high or a little too low. It felt like that, at times maybe in the Chargers or Patriots game, but he was okay last week against the Broncos when Eichenberg did snap it a little high. But you got to get up to the second level and make some blocks in this offense. Eichenberg was able to do so, and there's some opportunities that he could probably play this week. I'm not sure how well Connor Williams is going to be this week. But it's something to watch for sure. And it's good to have somebody who's capable. It's good to have somebody who didn't mess up. And those are all positives because we did see Connor Williams have some down moments the first 2 weeks for sure.
Don't forget, folks, to smash the hell out of the like button while you're watching. Is Tua Tagovailoa the strongest, most mentally tough athlete you have covered in pro football?
He's becoming the most mentally tough, yeah, for sure.
I mean, you come into the league with a coach that hates you,
Yeah,
fans that didn't want you, people that criticize you all over the league, media that's a lot of the media were really wrong on Tua, and they were slamming him for this, that. They called him fat this offseason. I mean, just it doesn't end, dude. Like it's there's always something that he's dealing with, and yet every time he comes back and sticks it right in your face, dude.
yeah. Two is really polarizing, and I'm trying to still figure out kind of why.
Right?
Um,
Right?
yeah, Tua reminds me a little bit. You don't hammer me for this. A little
I know
bit
you're
like
gonna about to say Russell or Tebow.
yeah, yeah, it's Tebow. The thing is with
Polarizing.
Tebow's faith was just very
Polarizing.
abrasive for some.
Right.
Um, and not to be wrong about being faithful or anything like that,
No,
but
no, no, but we get it. We get it. It's understandable.
yeah,
You're right.
yeah,
You're right.
Tebow was abrasive in that sense, and or so much of a darling in that sense as well. Back in those days, I was at UF during that time, so you couldn't tell me nothing about Tebow for sure. And when he was in the NFL, obviously really bad as a quarterback for sure.
Right.
Didn't have a great windup, but was able to win you some games. He was a player that you wanted on the field. Couldn't throw, but he was a player you wanted on the field. Um, Tua is a player that's kind of the opposite here. His life completely changed when he threw that touchdown pass, against Georgia in the national title game. Overnight, it changed overnight. The cameras were on him. He was the media darling. He was a superhero in Alabama. He's a big college star, just like Tebow was. Maybe no, not bigger, but just as big. And so when you have that kind of hype and everything around you, everybody looks for ways to pick you apart. It's kind of what we do in the draft process for sure. And he was coming off the hip injury, which didn't help him at all. You remember watching the Tua documentary that he made, and he's watching ESPN, hearing everybody talk about him and how is he going to come back, this and that. Similar way, like Jalen Ramsey's on Twitter reading everything about how he's supposed to come back earlier and this and that. Players are really affected by the things that you say about them, and it's just more ammunition for everything. Now, Tua definitely has taken some time to get some thicker skin. It's gotten thicker after dealing with Brian Flores' first 2 years, and it definitely had to have a certain kind of reset after last season because of the concussions. We were obviously all worried about his health, but we all brought up the fact that is Tua going to be retiring or thinking about retiring? That's something to think about as well. I had a one-on-one with Tua along with some other reporters before the season, and he was very adamant about how his wife and his child have helped him kind of take the next step in being a man and growing up. And it was a really refreshing side of Tua to see. It feels like Tua opened up a little bit more. It feels like Tua kind of understands a little bit more, maybe, which he didn't really understand before, that the media attention is the media attention. It's something that he's going to have to deal with. It's something he's been dealing with. It's hard to tell a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid who's in college, to deal with it in this sense when he's a celebrity overnight, and you don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to deal with people picking you apart left and right, just as much as people are smiling in your face and wanting your autograph and things of that nature. So Tua's really matured, man. And the Dolphins have put some really good things in place, mainly Mike McDaniel and mainly Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, to really help him feel comfortable and open up and be his own player and really shine and do the things that he does best, because the coaching staff before him didn't do that for him at all. So it's a really big evolution, man. He has become a lot more resilient, yes, but it didn't just happen overnight for sure. But he
No.
is very, very resilient.
Yeah, man. I've been impressed because there's a lot of guys that would already folded the tent that they're picking on you for every little thing that goes on out there.
Yeah.
Earlier in the show, you see Joe Burrow taking a beating, right? And I said, "Well, this is the interesting part about Mike Brown now. Okay, so you paid your quarterback. Are you going to pay for everybody else that you need to put around this guy? Are we going to see another Andrew Luck situation? That kind of stuff." Because it ain't easy being a quarterback in this league and taking a beating. And now you look at this kid. This kid took a beating for 2 years, mentally, physically, all that. And it take, maybe David Carr might have been a good quarterback. He might have been as good as his brother Derek Carr, but we never found out because you didn't put the stuff around him in order to be successful. And it's funny because remember how people used to complain? I'm sure they've done it to you. They send you an email and say, "Oh, why? Does Tua need a perfect team in order to play the game?" No, dude, everybody needs a perfect team in order to play the game at a high level. You better have a defense. You better have a running game. You better have, a real front office, a head coach, all those kind of things. And to me, that's the interesting part because you look at the first couple of years, Tua didn't have what he needs. You start looking at Joe Burrow now and you start wondering, does he have what he really needs to succeed when you're watching him take that beating? And that it doesn't matter who you are, bro. You're going to need help in order to succeed. And you got to be mentally tough about it.
Yeah, definitely. Look, Joe Burrow obviously he's needed an offensive line like all 4 years he's been in Cincinnati. That's been known. They've done things to try to help with signing other players. They just got rid of Lilo Collins, who was a big guy they were expecting to help. And obviously dealing with his calf injury. I was not comfortable watching him last night, but good for
Yeah.
him on coming out. But he's got the best receiving core in the NFL. And I'll put the Dolphins second because they don't have a third guy like Tyler Boyd. I think for the Dolphins and specifically, I've got the same emails. Who's a better receiving core than the Bengals?
No, that's good. That's good. With the Tyler Boyd thing, I have to give it to you there. I think Miami's deeper, actually. But
Yeah, we
they might be.
conversation for another day.
Yeah, no, but yeah,
Um,
you're right. They're the better starting unit. Yeah,
yeah, I
no
take
doubt.
them. I think Tyler Boyd is
Sure.
probably one of the best slot receivers, sure. But going back to Tua and needing everything perfect around him. Look, Tua was asked to not turn the ball over, and be smart and manage the game, right? Ryan Fitzpatrick was a 18-year veteran. How many years he's been in the league, and not concerned about job security. Every game he's playing is like his last, so he's going to make the tight window throws to Gesicki and to Devontae Parker because he's not scared to turn the ball over. He's not scared of the repercussions of that. Tua wasn't making those kind of throws, right? He wasn't supported to do so. And you look at the players that he played with in Alabama, they're not what they were in Miami. Devontae Parker gets like the least separation of anybody in the league. The same with Gesicki too. He's a slow runner at the start, but he gets faster, I guess, as the stride lengthens. But that's why Jalen Waddle was such a huge weapon for him when he got here, and that's why Tyreek Hill has been so dynamic for him too, because the space is open and Tua knows how to throw people open as well too. Um, so yeah, the Dolphins needed to, and they knew they needed to create and get the pieces for Tua to succeed, and they have. And now it's all about going up to Buffalo this week and really making it happen, man.
All right, what do you got going on in the USA today so folks can check you out, my friend?
Yeah, it's a football podcast coming up later today. Check us out. We talk a little bit about the Mike McDaniel not kicking the field goal. We talk a little bit about the Cowboys and how bad the Broncos have been, and a lot more too. I'll be at InterMiami tomorrow night to see if Messi will play or not in the U.S. Open Cup final. I don't think he's playing like the rest of the MLS season, to be honest, but we'll see how much he plays there. And, as always, I'll be here with you, Big O. Looking forward to talking to you on Friday and after the game on Sunday.
I appreciate you immensely. And hey, man, they played well the other night without Messi, and that was a huge tie for them. So I was proud of them because Orlando City really wanted to put a smackdown on Miami. You can tell that they were jacked for it, and those kids came to play, man. And they even benched Busquets. I was really
Mhm.
proud of the youngins getting it done. Follow him on Twitter at Safid_Deen. Catch his work there at the USA Today. Safid, as always, thank you, my friend. We will catch up on Friday.
My pleasure, man. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Safid Deen and our BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Miami Dolphins report.